Hey guys, what's happening? Today we got 6 different scooters and the expected range you can get from each. I'm going to go over just a couple of particulars about each one so you can reference, against the range they each get. But I'm going to start with eMove Touring, which is made by Voro Motors. It's a 48 volt, 13 amp battery. Really nice scooter. It's made pretty much just for, A to B, point A to point B. Um, every I think you get different comments from different people, but I think it's made with really good good quality parts. I've had no problems with it. I've had it over a year now, well, probably almost a year and a half, and I've taken it into cold, not freezing cold, but the cold is it's okay to ride. You know what I mean? 40 between 40 and 50 degrees probably at worst. And I really got good performance out of it. I honestly I got 17 miles, and I think I was down to like maybe 20 to 25% battery. I was pretty much done for the day. But I would say on average 19 to 20 for the whole, and that was going at a good speed too. Probably some full speed and maybe a little bit second speed out of three. So I wasn't looking for range. I was just going, going, going. So I could probably get a better reading on that one. But that is generally what you're going to get. Maybe if you go the middle speed the whole time, you could probably get over 20, maybe 22. You know, they probably say 40 miles on the ad or whatever for it on their page. You're not going to get that. You're not going to get that to where you're going to have any fun. You're going to be going 9 miles an hour or something in the lowest mode. It's going to take forever to get where you want to go. But you'll be saving a lot of battery. But a lot of these, I mean, all of these are that way. The slower you go, the farther it'll go. No stopping, no fluctuations, just one constant speed. You'll get the furthest you can go. But anyway, without rambling here, next one up here on my list is the new KQi2. I actually just got it not long ago, maybe a week and a half. I was looking at the new one, the 100p. Pretty cool scooter. It's got the front suspension on it, but it's got a half throttle, where it's just your middle finger and your pointer finger pretty much throttling, with your thumb. I don't really care for that. I either need a full throttle or a thumb throttle. I prefer a thumb throttle, but that one was one of the things that made me really not want it. I thought, you know what, I'm gonna look elsewhere. One of the guys in Paul from Electric Scooter Guide, I think. Yeah, I think it's Electric Scooter Guide, ESG, but cool guy, super cool guy. He's on Facebook too. You can look him up. Very good for questions, stuff like that too, if you want to get info off of him. But he was saying that if you wanted to find something comparable and you can get a little more range, look at KQi2. So I looked at KQi2 and I'm like, you know what? I think this is a little more of my pace because I wanted to check out new either way, but I didn't want to spend a bunch of money, just to check them out because you get some bad reviews, you get some good reviews. They got majority of them are good reviews, but some of the KQi3 Max have gotten really bad reviews. So I probably will steer away from that one and go with I've kind of got my eye on a 300p. I think those are pretty cool. But anyway, I got the KQi2. What I've gotten with that is in the dynamic mode, which is where you can get your best acceleration, your best speed. I've gotten 14.1 miles, and that was most of the time just going. I wasn't focusing on, getting longevity. I was just going, having fun, and the battery I got it down to, I think it was 19%, and that was 14.1 miles. I mean, you can take that much lower than that. If I took it to straight run out, it would probably be 16 or 17 miles. I don't know, maybe even better. But that's, significant. That's what I got pretty consistently because I did another run before that and it was right around that area. And I didn't necessarily kill the battery. I don't like to take the battery too low. Any lower than 10%, I think you're running a risk. Plus, I don't want to. I don't want to be walking. If I'm walking a little bit, that's fine. A block or two, a couple blocks, whatever. I don't want to walk forever because I want to be out of the next one. Grab another scoot, hit the road, go. But yeah, KQi2 is a great scooter. My only complaint about it is that when you're going, and this is at least in the dynamic mode. I've done one ride in the regular mode. You have to switch by phone to the dynamic mode. And if you want to go back to the other one where it bounces between the 9 miles an hour and 17-mile slow acceleration, it starts stock like that, out of the box. It starts that way, and then you have to go into the phone to change it to dynamic mode to where it's much faster. It's a little more of a rush. Your acceleration anyway. Which I don't like that part either. I don't like the fact that you have to switch over the phone. It would be nice if you could do it on the dash. The dash is just very basic. It's really easy to see in the daytime. It's like a dot matrix kind of screen almost. If that makes any sense to you. A dot matrix is a very old way. It looks like 8-bit letters kind of, or maybe even 16-bit. But that's a little more of a term for today. 8-bit, or it's not quite 8-bit graphics though. It's more like 16-bit, a little sharper, but it's very basic. So you got to change all that stuff with the phone. But anyway, if you run it in the slower 2 speeds, which you get 9 miles an hour and 17, if you switch it, much slower acceleration. It's made to go further. You could probably get 20 miles out of that, which is pretty amazing because it only has a 7.8 amp battery. So, and me, I don't even know if I would take it out of the dynamic mode because the acceleration being slower, it's like if we're going and just BSing, I can see using that. But a lot of times I like to keep a pace or, hit the gas and when I want to hit the gas, I want to know I'm hitting it, not just coasting, or just I want to move, so like a lot of you, I'm sure. But anyway, enough of the KQi2. I think it's great, but, I didn't say my point. My point was the traction control kind of irks me a little bit because it's so, there should be a function to turn that off because you hit a bump and that thing's already slowing down, thinking that you're losing, like you're skidding or something, or you're losing control or whatever. It thinks that the tire's spinning out because there's less resistance on it, or it's not moving as much. It's not touching the ground, so it thinks you're spinning out, and it reacts. I don't like that. I wish I could shut that off. Note to new, if you guys can make it in the app to where we can shut that off, which they have changed some stuff in the app since it came out. They used to make it was a kickstart. You'd have to kickstart it. Well, I can shut the kickstart off, so you can make it 0 start if you want, which is great. So anyway, that's the one thing I really don't like about it is I would like it to be a little bit faster than 17, but when you limit it, you do get better range. So being that it's limited at 17 and a half, it does get nice range with that. So all in all, it's a really solid scooter. If you don't want to spend a lot of money, I think right now it's $486, maybe towards Christmas time, it'll be like the deal I got where it was $419. So to me, I thought it was a great deal. $419 is well worth it. My first scooter was a Hover One. I'm going to talk about here in a minute too, and I thought that was a good basic starter scooter. If you want something just dirt cheap and you want to try it out, that was a good one to start with. hoveronealpha. And I'm going to move on to that one actually. Yeah, that's the next one on the list. hoveronealpha. You got a 6 amp battery, 36 volt. 36 volt, 6 amp, 350 watt motor. It's very rock bottom basic. 6 amp, you're not going to get a lot. 7-8 miles. That's what I got, but I was probably a lot heavier than I am now. I was a lot heavier than I am now. So now I could probably get maybe 9 or 10 miles. Then I got about 8. And which is not bad. It's not bad at all. And it's a very nice throttle, I think, on those. They got a very basic throttle, but it's a real nice one, for just a basic cheap scoot, The big tires do make a difference because I've rode Segways that have smaller tires. My new has slightly smaller tires. Those big balloony tires do make a difference. That's if you don't have an issue with them. Some people had issues with those. They're tube tires. I never had a problem with them. They will lose air. So if you want to get that sealant stuff, I never saw the point. I bought it, but I never ended up using it. I just don't see the point in using it at this point in me riding scooters. I don't see the point. Just add the air and worry about it in another month. Because probably 2-3 weeks. You'll have to really, if you want to be on top of it, you'll fill it every 2-3 weeks. The Alpha, it'll go down to 25, 22 pounds, and then you fill it back up to 40. Between 40 and 50, you're good. But I think Alpha's a good solid scooter if you're just starting out. If you want to get it, if you're a dirt bike rider or something, you want to get something like a real nice scoot, And money's no object. This video is probably not for you, but because I mean, you can get stuff that, if you have a garage, no problem, because it's gonna be 80, 90 pounds if you're gonna get something fast. But if you just want to get your feet wet and make sure you enjoy riding the scooters before spending any money, Alpha's a great way to go. So, but anyway, on to inokim Quick 4. This is probably my favorite scooter. It'll do 26 miles an hour, and it caps it at that, which is cool. The middle speed is about 14. It fluctuates. Sometimes it'll get up to 18 for whatever reason. I think a controller just sometimes will give you a little bit more oomph, just depending. I don't know if it's something in the controller that makes it act that way, or I don't know, something in the battery. I have no idea. But they're LG batteries. They're good batteries. I haven't had any issues with that thing from the day I got it, and I've had it just, I think about almost a year. I think I bought it before Christmas last year. So I've had it just about a year, and man, it's been great. It's the 16 amp battery version. That's the, I don't know what you want to call it. The super model, which is the inokim Quick 4 super model. The other one's 13 amp. This one's 16 amp. We took off. I went like 2-3 towns over, west of us. And by the time we got home, I got 29 miles out of that thing. You get 29 miles out of a 16 amp battery. It's 52 volt, mind you. Man, you can't go wrong, especially with that thing weighing 47 pounds. Those numbers are awesome. If you can get 30 miles out of something that weighs 47 pounds, that's awesome. So, in my opinion, in my experience, that's the best Ranger I've had. So, and a great scooter. The design is real nice. To me, they seem built to last. I've had a couple Light 2s. Only reason why I got rid of them is because I've kind of kicked myself in the ass for getting rid of them now, but I needed the money, obviously, so I'm like, what, I know this will sell quick because they're quality. By selling Alpha, what am I going to get out of an Alpha? $150 maybe. So anyway, I sold two. I had two Light 2s. I just love them because they're so lightweight, easy to put, easily to move around or whatever. But the reason why I kick myself for selling that is because when you have it in the 3rd speed, which is the top speed, it'll do like 21, almost 22. It's so fun, man. Just the way that the low center of gravity on it, where the deck is like almost lower than the middle point of the tires. It's really very cool, man. It's got a different feel to it. The handlebars are real low, but they're real comfortable. The design of it was right on, man, really. And I was riding it in 2nd gear, trying to save the battery a little bit. No, man, it was so much funner to ride it in 3rd speed. So maybe one day I'll get another one, but I think I'm going to wait for them to see what they come out with, because you go to their website, none of their stuff's in stock. I've tried to ring out with a bunch of them just to do a little study. Every time I go there, for the last few weeks, nothing is in stock. I mean, maybe the OXO, the special ones, the new special paint job. I don't know. There might be some other, newer, updated special stuff. I don't know. But I know they look different, different paint jobs and stuff. But I can't get no Quicks, no Light 2s, no Ox. None of those are in stock. So that tells me they're either ready to bring out a bunch of new models or something, like a Quick 5, maybe Light 3. I kind of hope that they're doing that. But anyway, on the next one, and we can move along. The M5. It's made by a company, weird name, AE86 Origin, which obviously that reminds you of like tuner cars in the 80s. So I don't know why they picked that name, but it's the M5. It's a seated scooter. I'm doing pictures with all these, so you'll be able to see it. But very cool scooter. It's 48 volt, 13 amp. I did leave out the couple numbers on the Quick, or no, I'm sorry, on the KQi2. It's 48 volt, 7.8 amp battery. I did mention the battery, but not the voltage. The voltage is important. My honest opinion, dude, if you want something that's gonna get better range, you got to go better than 36 volt. I mean, like I say, unless you're just starting out, go better than 36 volt. You're going to get better range. It's not going to take as long for that battery to get that thing up and moving. And 36 volt battery, you're just going to drink it. Getting some performance out of it, you're going to drink that battery dead. And with more voltage, you're going to do less of that. So that's just a thought. And try to stick with something 500 watt or better. 400 watts fine, but 300, 36 volt, just forget 300 watt. You're going to go nowhere fast. But anyway, on to the M5. Like I say, seated scooter. Bogist, Bogist, makes not another version, but it's also a brand name that makes the same scooter. They don't make the same. They sell the same scooter. I added a big old throne to it for a seat. It's pretty cool. Nice cushy seat. But anyway, I like the seat up real high so that you're not. I don't like my knees bent a lot, because the more my knees are bent a lot, I'm sitting down on that seat. It doesn't have suspension, so the more you're sitting, your knees are bent, and you're sitting low on that seat, the harder those bumps are going to be on your back, because it's got no suspension. But 14-inch, like bicycle tires. Not bad on bumps. I probably have them maxed, in terms of inflation. They're probably inflated all the way, so that does make a rougher ride. But it's 48 volt, 13 amp. Sweet headlight on it. But the range I got from it was like, it's hard to say because it's kilometers. The readout is only kilometers, which I don't understand. If you're selling these in the States, why wouldn't you go with other than kilometers? But whatever. I'm going to say tops 20 miles you're probably going to get. But it tops out at, I think it says 25, but I get it about 22. 20 to 22. You don't really need to go a lot faster than that. It's pretty good that way. 20 miles an hour, you're going to get about, I'd say 18 to 20 miles out. For some reason, those bigger wheels don't get moving as fast, and I think that wears on a battery too. So if you were to give that a push every time you take off, that would probably help a lot in not killing the battery, or start off on a downhill or something like that. But super fun, man. Super fun to ride around. It's basically a bicycle, small little bike, but with no pedals, obviously. But super fun though. If you're not, I prefer standing up. Scooters to be standing up. But when I'm not, the rare occasion that I'm not in the mood for doing that, what I do is I take mine. I have a couple different camera mounts on it. We call it the production vehicle. So I'll have a couple cameras on it, and we'll just get shots of whoever wants to make a video or something like that. So it's really, really good for something like that. A basket is supposed to go on the back of it. I have a camera mount in place of the basket. I don't want a damn basket. I'll put a bag on there or something for them to carry something. What am I, driving Miss Daisy or whatever? Driving Miss Daisy is not the right one. I'm thinking of Mary Poppins or some shit. I'm not having a basket in any vehicle of mine. But anyway, I got one more. The Mosquito. The Mosquito is basically made by E2W. You can find those under U-scooters as well. But the Mosquito is the fluid free ride model, basically. Like I say, made by E2W. I actually kind of like the Mosquito better than the GT, which they're almost the same numbers. The batteries are slightly different. You get a cheaper battery with the Mosquito. And it's slightly less. It's like 0.6 amps less, which, I almost get the same range with them, so it doesn't really matter to me. If you set that up to do 15 miles an hour, you're going to get right around 14, 15 miles. If you set it up to do 10 miles an hour, which is your second speed, it's got 5 different speeds, which is cool. It's really cool. Obviously, the slower you go, the better it's going to get, but I can't go slower than 10 miles an hour. It's going to drive me crazy. If I got a few people and we're bullshitting or something like that, then that's fine. I could go that slow and not be too bored. But if it's just me, I'm probably going to have an L4, which is, speed 4. That's going to do up to 24 miles an hour. Super fun, man. Super fun. Tires are sketchy, though. Be careful on tires. Don't take it on any water. You'll kill yourself. Make sure it's always dry. Do not, I rode on wet wood. And that thing just right from out under my feet. So I'm lucky I didn't face plant. But as long as it's nice and dry out, though, that thing is a blast. And the suspension's beautiful. But like I say, the range is I got 16 and a half when I did half L2, which is 10 miles an hour, and half L3, which is 16 miles an hour. I got 16 and a half miles. You could do that pretty consistently if you do like half and half. So, but I would say from 8 to 10 miles, you will get full bore. If you do L5, you want to just rip up and down the streets, have a ball with it, you'll get, 8, 9, maybe 10 miles. It's not really made to be a Ranger, but you do get some decent range out of it. Being such a small 29-pound scooter that'll do 28 miles an hour. I personally got it up to 27. I never got that on my GT when I had it. I ended up returning it because the rear mechanical brake was freaking me out. The drum brake was freaking me out because it was making a bunch of noise. I didn't know it, but it was still safe. It was fine. I just freaked out because the return window was closing. So I'm like, I'm just going to return it. I don't know if it's bad or good. I'm not going through any kind of sending it back to fix it. I wasn't going through any of that, so I returned it. But I found a Mosquito for a couple bucks cheaper. Instead of spending $9.49, I think I spent $7.99. So I'm like, you know what? I'll go with that. And I've loved that ever since. It's been great. I have no complaints about it. But anyway, I'm trying to keep these at least one a week, which is not happening. So bear with me. If you want to sub, like, all that good stuff, I appreciate it. And hopefully you got something out of this. This helped you out in making any decisions, something like that. But all right, cool, guys. Thanks, man. We'll see you next time.